25 Nurse Horror Stories. According to Reddit. Number 25. Easily any patient that has DIC. That's only one letter away from a copyright. No, I'm kidding. Not a copyright strike, but a demonetization. So let's see. Disseminated intravascular coagulation. Let's see if there's a quick little... It's a condition affecting the blood's ability to clot and stop bleeding, meaning if you start, you can't stop. Much like a can of Pringles. Does anyone remember the 90s? I swear it's a condition from hell itself. Basically, the blood clots abnormally, and clots will form throughout the small vessels, causing hyperperfusion to all organs. Thank you to Hannah for that stream notification. The kicker is while blood is clotting throughout small vessels, it's not clotting in places that are needed, like orifices, mouth, eyes, nose, and genitals, around any external devices like IVs, chest tubes, etc., or any open wounds. So the patient is bleeding out externally while going into multi-organ failure internally because none of their organs are getting blood flow. All the patients that I've ever had with this condition barely lasted 48 hours. The last patient I took care of, like this, couldn't go more than 30 minutes without some fluid resuscitation, even with vasopressors. His blood pressure would drop like, I shit you not, 50 to over 30. It was a fucking nightmare. Well, I hope nobody listening to this has that kind of affliction, and I hope that you don't have children or relatives with it, because it sounds horrifying. You know, our bodies truly are a miracle as far as the things that are just working without us really having to put much time, effort, or attention into them. And the second that one thing, fucks up, it's really just it's a house of cards is what it is. So hello to everybody. Just hoping you're having a fantastic day. Here's a bit of irrelevant information that may or may not affect you in your everyday. But Sony PlayStation, the last holdout for the cross-platform play in Fortnite, has decided to allow cross-platform play. So if you Fortnite, add Kyle, because I'm going to be going back to that game, because apparently the season's ending, and I need to get my money's worth out of that season pass that I stupidly bought, because I got problems, you know what I mean? Number 24. My best friend is an RN, and her favorite story is about a super nice lady in her late 30s who came in the hospital because of a labial abscess. Basically, she got an ingrown hair from shaving, which got infected and resulted in most of her labia needing to be removed. Damn, that makes me want to not shave. Jesus. But why stop there, right? I don't know where this is going. Turns out the tissue just did not want to heal. She was in the hospital for nearly a month while they continued to I&D farther and farther up this poor woman's abdomen until she basically had no flesh from the belly button down. It didn't finally start to heal. Oh, it finally started to heal, but holy fuck. She reminded me that the woman's hip bones were visible at its worst. Look, ma'am, I'm just going to roll up I guess that's what this list is going to be as we proceed to top. It's really going to be some nasty stuff. Here's hoping you guys aren't eating. But, considering it's a little bit earlier for me, and I'm on the East Coast, so everybody to the West, hopefully they don't listen to this at lunch. Jeez. Number 23, mental health nurse here. I witnessed this because it happened. No, I witnessed this, but it didn't happen to me. One day on shift, I responded to a duress alarm in another ward. A female patient on a psychiatric intensive care unit had become violent and could not be de-escalated. It was decided that physical restraint and intramuscular medication would be needed to settle her ass down, meaning they were going to bind her ass up BDSM style, and then they were also going to drug that bitch like a deer, you know what I mean? For a ritual sacrifice where the deer has to be alive later, so they got to take... Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk about the inner workings of our government. Anyway, as the team of 5 nurses approach her, she was standing there with her legs apart and shouting at us. This doesn't sound good. Just as we stepped into her space to initiate the restraint, she struck her fingers into her vagina? No, she stuck them. She was menstruating at the time. Ooh, bless my monetization, Lord. And managed to stick them into the mouth of one of the female nurses during the restraint. The patient was extremely amused. The nurse vomited after the restraint and had to leave for the day. That's just one of the really bizarre moments that I've had experienced since working as a mental health nurse. Well, there's my upvote. Let's climb on out of there. Number 22, hopeless romantic. My mother-in-law is a nurse, and every year around Christmas, there is a man who comes in with a candle stuck up his ass, but progressively it gets bigger. Last year, she compared the candle to the size of a pickle jar. Well, I'm just gonna keep moving, man. Number 21. Oh, man. Severely addicted heroin user admitted for sepsis and respiratory failure. That's not good. About 3 or 4 days into his admission, we find multiple broken needles lodged in his arm. Uh-oh. We were trying to place a PICC line. After a few more days, he codes, which was uneventful until the abscess that was brewing under his left clavicle exploded and sprayed pus everywhere. He survived that and went for an IND, which left a gaping hole in his chest and neck. You could fit 3 fists in. Oh yeah. His clavicle had rotted away from osteomyelitis. Osteomyelitis?
Yeah.
Or myelitis? Osteomyelitis. You shouldn't do this now, Kyle, but I gotta know, man. I gotta know. Osteomyelitis. Give me that good stuff. Give me that good stuff. Come on. Say it. Say it, bitch.
Osteomyelitis.
Yeah, myelitis. Sounds sexy. I'm kidding. His clavicle had rotted away from osteomyelitis and had minimal tissue connecting his neck to his shoulder on the left side. What a way to live. Because y'all gotta be all about that heroin, right? You know? Come on. Ay. After 30 days intubated in the ICU, he finally died. It wasn't a way to live. The dude was just barely hanging on. All the while, his drug-addicted sister kept stopping by and telling us how he was a fighter and was going to make a full recovery. Yeah, right, lady. Oh my God. I don't know where to begin. Hello again to everybody in the stream chat. Here's hoping you're having an interesting day so far. Could be night for you. And to anybody listening to this after the fact, know I love you and I hope that you are getting the time to relax that you so deserve. And if you're listening to this while working, well then damn, I hope it ends quickly. Number 20, on the list of 25 nurse horror stories, a lady with sores and a foul-smelling discharge coming from her vagina. We spent days trying to figure out what had happened. Labs were sent, no infections, swabs clear. It was an enigma. Until I caught her douching her vag with bleach. Okay. She thought that's how you kept it clean. Sex education is important. It looks like ignorance is paying the price. Or she's paying the price for her ignorance. Oh my God. Number 19. I'll go with the frequent flyer with unidentifiable green goop oozing out of cauliflower-like sores on the legs. Damn, that made me shiver. The goop wasn't anything that showed up on culture, and often resulted in maggots burrowing into her legs. It also smelled awful, and she was really mean. She was about one of a monther?
She comes up every month?
But what a way to phrase that. She was about a one a monther? That's what it says. You know, I have enough problems in my life, and I gotta read shit like this. She was about a one a monther. What? What does this mean? Look, she came in perhaps once a month for various reasons and ended up being found dead at home. My God. Runner-up is a 516-pound lady that I managed to catheter with the assistance of 3 medical students. I found some food decaying in one of her folds. I think it was a little Debbie. Oh my God. Somebody said, I'm glad I ate breakfast before this. Good luck keeping it down, man. Someone said that was definitely a big Debbie, and then somebody else slaps knee. Okay, brilliant. Ugh. Number 18. Okay. Not a nurse, but a medical assistant. It was my first day on the job at an urgent care and was asked to assist with an abscess drainage. Disgusting. I said, sure. I walk into the room and the patient is laying on the bed with her legs in stirrups. No big deal. I just assumed the abscess was on her inner thigh, maybe? Wrong! She had 2 abscesses, one on each side of her labia, each about the size of dates. So the other cuts into the first one, though the doctor cuts into the first one. And usually with abscesses, you cut it open and the blood and pus drain out. But this one, she cut it open and a green fluid the consistency of molasses started to leak out. A syrupy green fluid, nah. The smell was so terrible, but I could not react as the patient could see my face and I did not want to embarrass her anymore, so than she already was, having vaginal abscesses, you know, drained and all. When the draining slowed down, the doctor literally started pulling on it, basically roping it out of the wound. After packing the drained abscess, I had to bandage her up. After the patient left, I was congratulated by my coworkers for keeping my composure, especially for it having been my first procedure of the day. I loved that job and miss it every day. I don't really miss the craziness that my job. Okay, I'm sorry. You know, I gotta. Jesus, that's a lot of vagina stories, my dude. You know, it's a lot of vagina stories. Number 17 here. Okay, a man was discharged. A man was discharged from a mental health facility a few days prior. He went home, built a gun in his garage out of pipes, and he proceeded to shoot himself in the chest. His wife called EMS, and he was talking when he came into the ED. He asked for water because he was thirsty. This is usually the first sign someone isn't going to make it. The CT scan showed there was a bullet in the heart. He was rushed into my OR. The trauma surgeon split the ribs and was feeling around for where the bullet went. Meanwhile, the front desk is trying to get a hold of the cardiovascular surgeon on call. He's out of town and says to call one of his partners. The first partner is also out of town, and the second and third are both an hour away at other hospitals. The trauma surgeon finds a hole in the left ventricle, and I am able to get a hold of another surgeon who isn't on call but is 20 minutes away. He says that the patient needs to get on bypass if there's any chance, but he'll probably end up dying anyway. Anesthesia is on a massive transfusion protocol, but his vitals are not improving. The surgeon opens the pericardium, and it sounds like a water balloon hitting the pavement. It is an instant liter of crimson-covered blood pouring out of the drapes and onto the floor. Okay. Anesthesia calls out, "There's no pulse." Another liter and a half of pour from the drapes. My God, we know where all the blood went. The next 2 hours include filling out paperwork and calling the medical examiner. I have to speak to the widow and his mother about signing the forms for the ME. His death will have to be investigated by the county. I still have to get the meat wagon from the morgue and put him on ice. My shift ended 3 hours prior, but it's my death in my OR, so I'm responsible for the details and the paperwork. I like the idea that like some motherfucker dies on the table and they go, God damn it, I'm not doing all this paperwork. Maybe there's a loved one in the room. I'm sorry for your loss. he just rips off his gloves. Tired of this shit. This one is emotionally tough. As the 12-year-old who, oh God, here we go. As the 12-year-old who crashed a side-by-side on a coworker's property, he was declared brain dead the next morning. The staff lined the halls for an honor walk as his bed rolled by to the OR for an organ procurement. They gonna harvest that body, baby. As the father of the 2 young boys myself, I broke down and cried as the mother said goodbye. No, as the father of 2 young boys myself. I thought he was saying he was the father of the kid. I was about to say, wait a minute. But there's only one motherfucker who died in the story. And now you're saying as the father of 2 young boys. Was the boy pregnant with another boy? Because man can't get pregnant. That's a joke. Oh, sorry. Okay. Vagina. I broke down, cried. The mother said goodbye. She adjusted his blanket to keep him warm and kept telling him it'd be okay. I'll see you later. It'll be okay. Sad. Keep your kids safe as best you can. That's pretty much the whole threat, is trying to keep your kids alive until they can not wobble so much when they're walking on their own 2 feet. But some of your kids are never gonna not be able to, you know. They're gonna be falling up and down stairs for the rest of their life, man. All you can do is just hope for the best. Number 16. I have a few that aren't the worst out there, but they're still good times. A schizophrenic homeless man told me how he had to smoke all of the crack before the crack mamas could, so that he can save the crack mamas' babies. What a heroic crackhead homeless man. Not all heroes wear capes. You know, you could roll up that cape and smoke it. Then there was the old man that would poop himself, dig his...
Oh no.
You know, okay, man, okay. Then there was the old man who would poop himself, dig his fingers in his ass, then proceed to put his poopy fingers in his mouth and up his nose. That's the type of shit I don't want on the internet, okay? Lastly was the obese woman that had horrible lymphedema, which made it hard for her to walk. So instead of getting up to go to the bathroom or commode, she would ask for a towel to be stuffed between her legs and piss all over herself. The smell of that woman's inner thighs cannot be described with words. Oh my God. Okay. Number 15 says you've reached a checkpoint. Take a minute break. Okay. Let's take a minute over at Eye Bleach here. The spookiest of jump scares. Oh, it's just a stupid cat. Get out of the sink, you bastard. It's okay, it looks like a laundry sink, though. Okay. Owl finds his friends. Oh. That's kind of cute. New patient at the Alzheimer's facility bonds with a visiting therapy cat. Man, there's nothing more fucked up than Alzheimer's. Well, there's plenty more fucked up than Alzheimer's, but you know what I mean. It's pretty fucked up. I like that even the therapy cat is kind of like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? There are therapy dogs that are just like so sweet.
You should be happy. She a therapy dog.
And they're like jumping all over you and hugging you up. I saw something with a therapy dog the other day on the front page. Where did it go? Let's see if I can find it. Therapy dog Reddit. Is this it? Dogs with jowls? No. I saw a dog the other day that was like at a store or like a mall or something, and like it had a sign and it was like, "Oh, I exist to give pets" or something. Where did it go? Here it is. It's at an airport. Let me get the chat out of the way really quick. There you go. Yeah, this is like pet me, and then like the dog kind of like jumps into the pets. He's so cute. I'm a registered therapy animals. Well, guys, you know, slap yourself because we're going back into this list of 25 nurse horror stories. But we're at number 14. I work as a nurse in a cath lab. Oh shit. With a stream share with the bang bang. Bring that back in. Squeeze that back. And there we are. I work as a nurse I work as a nurse in a cath lab. Once was on call when we got a patient with a massive heart attack. No chance of a sinus rhythm so far, and he was incredibly hard to resuscitate because he had a coronary bypass and the bones in his chest were fused together like a knight's armor. This was a comparatively young man in my line of work. Mid-50s, I guess. He died in our cath lab. Anyway, it turns out he had a very heated argument with his grown-up son that night when he collapsed and he had a heart attack. Apparently, a couple of days later, his son hung himself in the woods near where they lived. Yo, that sucks. That sucks. First of all, yeah, dude, if you're the type of motherfucker with a conscience, dude, and you have an argument with somebody and that person keels the fuck over, that person collapses, that person gasps and just like, and then they die, you killed them in your brain, you know? There are a lot of people that live their lives guilty and like, oh, I had a friend and he killed himself. It was my fault. I should have been there for him. Or, oh, somebody was going to this party and then they died. I shouldn't have let them go to that party. It was my fault. Oh, bullshit like that, where it's like completely out of your power, dude. But you get into an argument with a dude, that person just gets short of breath and they're just like, and then they fucking pass out. You know, they collapse. They go to the hospital now. And then they die? Shit. You know what I mean? That's the only response to that. Shit. So, what are you gonna do but kill yourself in the woods? No, dude. If you guys are going through anything, you all have a direct line to me, man. If it's real, you know I'm not gonna disrespect or judge or any of that bullshit. Just keep your shit together, man. Treat everybody like it's your last day on the planet, because it could fucking be, dude. Let the only people that are irrational in your lives be your parents, you know? Put up with their bullshit. But you should be, you don't have these arguments with people where you're going to bed upset and you're not, you know, letting them know that even when you're fighting, let people know that they're loved and shit like that. Fuck me. Number 13, anything involving maggots. unless we put them there on purpose. I didn't know that was still a medical practice.
It's very uncommon nowadays, but yeah.
Okay. I had a drive and dump that got admitted. Lady of the night based on the clothing, meaning she was a prostitute. Did you hear that? I'm sorry. If you guys just heard me kind of gasping and hesitantly breathing, I was about to deliver the line, Lord help me, had roaches crawling out of her nether region. God love my tech, she just stomped on them and made fun of me. Got my arm stuck between a patient's butt cheeks while inserting a fecal management system for C. diff management. I weighed in at about 115 at the time. He was 400 plus pounds. He clenched and was screaming at me to get out of his ass. Let go of me. Then, get out of my ass. Why are you clenching? Happened years ago and still gets brought up. I had a patient who had a sacral D-cube. That was huge. Sacral?
Yeah, it's sacral.
What the hell is this?
Just
Do I dare to Google it? A sacral D-cube. The sacral part of the body is where the spine meets the upper buttocks. A decubitus ulcer is an open pressure sore. You know, I've read enough. I think I've read enough. My head would have fit in the hole.
oh god.
Mo hyperbole. The dressing change was like trying to pull a deep dish. The dressing change was like trying to pull a. It's not cool. It's not cool. I can't believe I'm reading this. The dressing change was like trying to pull a deep dish extra cheese pizza off of someone's caved in lower back. No, God, no. God. No, it's not funny. Why y'all gotta phrase stuff like this, man? Oh man. I will read that like a professional. The dressing change was like trying to pull a deep dish extra cheese pizza off someone's caved in lower back. She had so much slough. She lived through that for months. Plus, she was demented, deaf, blind, on dialysis, and had AKAs to her hips, and had bilat amputations to her elbows. Put the bitch out of her misery. She constantly begged Jesus to let her die. Her daughter had POA and just wouldn't change the code status. What's POA?
I think it's to decide.
Power of attorney.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as it wasn't like she was getting money for this bitch being old. Because we've heard stories as terrible as that, man. We've heard stories. Oh.
She probably was.
Okay, number 12 here, okay? Let's just get out of here. A prisoner patient got mad at his cellmate. So mad that he took a razor and cut his own scrotum. You make me so mad, I'm just gonna... Those are your own balls, man. When you cutting your own balls up, I'm crazy. What will I do to you if I've cut my own balls up? It's true, that dude probably couldn't sleep well at night now. He decided to turn this cut into a kangaroo pouch and tried to put a travel-sized toothbrush into the cut. Damn, baby. Don't go to prison, kids. Don't go to prison. You don't know who else is in there. Besides Bill Cosby. Oh, yeah. Got him. Okay, look. To top it off, he slammed 2 pencils up his urethra. Please get me out of this list, Lord. Mental health is a real thing, so I guess not the worst for me as it was for him. Bonus story. A car rolls up and dumps out a girl who has an axe sticking out of her head. Immediate surgery. She didn't make it, but they caught the people who dumped her. But yeah, seeing the cruelty of humanity is the worst. Oh no, we axed this bitch in the head. We can't just let her die, we're not monsters. Well, dump her at the, gingerly just push her out of the car. Look, I'm not stopping the car. They can't get a look at us, man. So just look, should we take the axe out? Man, we're doing enough. We're doing enough. We're taking her to the hospital. What do you want?
Well, if you take the axe out.
Body rolls over and like the axe wedges itself deeper into the girl. Come on, man. Don't use an axe on people, okay? Axes are for trees, guys. Don't y'all know anything about Minecraft? Use the right tool for the job, okay?
Gun for brains.
Number 11. Tough to choose, honestly. A couple of years ago, I took care of a long-haul trucker who developed a wound on the underside of his bowel sac. The vibration of the truck seat wore away at his scrotum, and he developed an infected ulcer. As you can imagine, this makes for a very fragile situation. One day we were helping him out of bed when his scrotum ruptured wide open, pus splattered everywhere, and his testicles flopped out. A bad day for everyone involved. Also worth a mention, I've seen multiple patients come in with maggots in their festering wounds. How does a maggot infest in your body how does a maggot infestation in your body go unnoticed? And for fun, the one time I had a patient fresh out of open heart surgery try to escape through the toilet. He was having DTs and withdrawals from a variety of street drugs, found him knee deep in the toilet, trying to swim out because he loves the smack. 4 security guards couldn't hold him, even with chest tubes, mid-sternal incision, Foley, the works. Don't do drugs, but if you do, please tell us which ones. Oh my god. Y'all motherfuckers out here calling out my fucking thumbnails, like y'all know shit. If you don't have tetonas grandes, then why you even talking to me, alright? Y'all know where the Snapchat is, but only if you... I'm kidding. Y'all want to know what that link is? Y'all got shit to talk? I'm going to click it right now. You ready? Listen. And I click it, and what do you think's going to come up? BoJack Horseman, my dudes. Stop yourself, okay? God. Did somebody just donate? Why didn't it pop up? Who donated? Because it didn't come up. My man, I appreciate you.
Did they just send it straight to PayPal?
They sent it straight to PayPal, so it didn't come up. My man, I appreciate you.
Is it the same one that did last
Wait, was it Justin?
I think Justin Case did it last time.
Justin, my man, I appreciate you. I don't know, I guess like you're using a PayPal link and not the Streamlabs link, because it won't pop up if that sucks. I just want Justin to get all his praps, Justin oh, that's the joke.
Yep.
Never mind. I love you, and in a very Justin way, we're going to continue up the list of 25 horror stories from nurses. There are only 10 remaining. Buckle up. Ooh, yeah. Elderly meth addict, prostitute, admitted for sepsis yet again. Cultures are all negative until someone sees that her colostomy is a bit too red and puffy to be considered normal. We cultured it and she had syphilis as well as a bunch of MRSA.
MRSA, baby.
Turns out she was letting some of her Johns fuck her stoma.
Oh.
Oh my god. 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 When we told her that we figured out that when we told her what we had figured out, she just shrugged and said, "A hole is a hole." Jesus has left the server. Number 9. Too many to choose from, so I'll just go with a recent one. was doing a wound care on a diabetic man who took zero care of himself. It was a foot ulcer with necrotic tissue and gangrene. Necrotic? Jesus Christ. As I was pulling the old dressing off, I felt a subtle crunch. I looked and saw that, yep, the dressing pulled out. The dressing pulled one of the man's necrotic toes completely off with it. The hell is this? He just sighed and said, "Not again." Turns out just a few months ago, the other foot was that level of ulceration, and one of those toes came off when he went to put on shoes. How he failed to notice the smell and severity is a mystery. Number 8, posting one more. 20-year-old patient in the motorcycle accident sans helmet, meaning he did not have a helmet. Great. The kid survived, but was going to... The kid survived, but was never going to not be a vegetable. Why do you have to phrase it like that? You could have just said he would be a vegetable his entire life. He was living with 15 different tubes. He literally lost too much brain tissue. The kind of stuff is par for the course in a level 1 trauma center. What was hard was watching his parents stay in his room in shifts, documenting every little twitch and spasm and reporting it to us as a sign that he was waking up, only to have to be gently told that it's just spasms with no conscious thought. They would also happily keep telling us about the welcome home party that they had planned for him, making jokes that they're never letting him buy a bike again. One day they started visiting less and less and eventually stopped coming at all. Finally, they made him a do not resuscitate. He was their only child. Y'all let your stupid ass and nigga ass kids buy a fucking motorcycle, my dude. You know, once you pass a certain age, of course, whatever, these kids are gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. But you're like, I think if I had a fucking kid, I would break this kid's fucking bike. And I do it in a way that they wouldn't fucking catch me with. I'd say, come at me, motherfucker. What are you gonna do? Buy another one? Your broke ass, nigga. I wasn't the one to break your bike, but if it was me, I'd let your ass know. It'd have Kyle written all over it, baby. If anything, I must have paid somebody to do it. What the fuck you on a motorcycle for, you stupid bitch? You got some shit to prove, you basic nigga? Is that what you think the girls gonna want? Oh, you want to suck your dick? The girls that's gonna be chasing you because you riding a motorcycle are as basic and ugly and stupid as they come. And not just externally ugly, baby, but ugly in a way that's gonna follow them to their grave, baby. You want to fuck around with these hoes? Make sure you don't bring them home. My wife and me ain't in the mood for this bullshit. You a fucking faggot. You hear me? You ain't shit. And if I see you riding around on that fucking motorcycle again, dude, I don't have a son, and I'm sure that you would love for me never to speak to you for the rest of your life, but I want you to know that you are a punk bitch, okay? There's a lot of people who will buy a sports car maybe when they're in their 40s, 50s, some shit like that. Maybe they got the money to do that. Let them live their life. They ain't hurt nobody. But you are potentially throwing your entire life away because you trying to feel the thrill. You trying to live on the edge, bitch. I ride a motorcycle. You fucking, you know what? Anybody riding a motorcycle, watch your motherfucking step. That's all I gotta say. Watch your motherfucking step. You know what I'm saying? Why? Why are you doing that? But hey, maybe you want to die. That's the only type of thing that I could say to people who want to ride a motorcycle. Maybe you want to die. You're cool in a way that I don't even understand, huh? Yeah, you're really cool. Maybe I want to die, Dad. You ever think about that? You ain't the only one who wants you dead. Get out of here. God damn, Dad, you can't say shit like that to me. I'm gonna end up in jail like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is in prison. He knew what he did. His error was admitting it. I'm just kidding. That is not a hot take that you guys should take out of this video. But if you did, I guess I wouldn't care. You know, nobody listens to me. That's the point. You guys love the list, and that's where we're gonna continue, my dude. 25 nurse horror stories, bing bong. Number 7. The things I've removed from a grown man's penis. A Lego lightsaber. Oh God. A baby carrot. A plastic spoon. Small circular magnets. Purple crayon. Golf pencil. And I've only been in the emergency medicine for 6 years. In the dick hole, you know? Godly. Number 6. The worst smelling thing was a homeless man who came in with what looked like moon boots on his feet, except they were surgical boots that he placed foam around and duct tape. They hadn't been removed for about 3 months. He was also diabetic and had ulcers on his feet. We had to cut them off to be able to see what was happening. Did y'all have gas masks? The smell permeated the entire emergency room, and to top it off, maggots were just falling off his feet and wiggling on the ground. He was yelling down the hall and rude to everyone but me, and would only let me take care of him. He ended up refusing care and insisted that we tape his shoes back on and let him leave. Management finally said that we could, and we sent him off. The saddest stories are the kids. A 6-year-old shot by a drive-by and was being coded by the time that she arrived. She didn't make it, and hearing the mother hear the news and screaming from down the hall will stick with me forever. Oh, people suck, man. Ugh, a happy story. A teenager was out drinking with friends and they accidentally ran him over. We thought he had no brain activity and was going to be a donor. We run some tests and find that he is able to squeeze fingers and respond. He went to surgery and then the ICU and was discharged a week later, and his mom found me one day before he left, and I was so relieved for the family. Well, oh my God. I can't. This is something, man. Number 5. Okay. A labor nurse here, 36-year-old female patient who had been diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer in her 8th week of pregnancy. Jesus. Her and her husband were trying to have a baby for 10 years. They were advised to terminate the pregnancy to pursue aggressive treatment. Of course she refused. Was induced at 32 weeks, and her entire abdomen was overcome with malignant tumors by this time. The cancer had also spread to her lung and bones. The baby was born, sent to NICU, and the mom was sent home on hospice. She died 3 weeks later. The baby is doing fine today and just turned a year old. What kind of anime shit is that, dude? But the baby could have the cancer. Why would you do that to the baby? The baby could have a cancer. Jesus, man. Number 14, a 17-year-old kid shot himself in the face. He was left with no nose, no mouth, no jaw, but everything else was totally intact. Aim for the brain, kids. What the hell? Jesus. Incredibly sad eyes. You shot yourself in the face, my dude. You know, what's your excuse? Were you drunk? Did you have a lot of pills at the time to work up the courage? You couldn't even do this right. You live now in agony. It's a job left unfinished because you suck. It's not the thing that I should say, man. What a terrible place that he must be in to where he decided to take his own life. But now people gotta see this. People gotta work on this. You're scarring other people's lives, dude. You wanna know what a great person does? You know what I mean? And this is gonna sound really crazy, you know, because I do not condone the act of suicide or feeling so bad that you want to take your own life. But you want to know what keeps a lot of people from taking their life? It's motherfucking thinking about what happens after. Who's going to find me? You know, who's going to be really upset when they realize that I'm gone and I'm never coming back? You know what I mean? You're thinking about the consequences, the ramifications of your fucking actions. But when you can't, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't know what kind of brain you need to know that brain and heart are what it take to make body go. So, you know, figure out brain and heart stoppy if you want life no mori, and then you good and done. You know, I'm going to shoot myself in the face, but I'm going to aim the gun from my right cheek to the left cheek, and then it ought to do it. We'll be all right. I'm going to kill myself, but I'm going to start by shooting myself in each limb first. My dude, I'm going to saw off all of my arms and then my legs and then the neck. Oh no, I can't reach. Whoa. What? Oh my God. It's not funny, but come on. You're scarring people for life. That's what I hate. You know, I'm the type of guy where you hear a story about a guy that jumps on the train tracks. You know, yes, it's sad he jumped on the train tracks. What must that guy have been going through? But fuck that guy. He ruined. He made a murderer out of the conductor. Yeah. You know, that train could have derailed and killed all those people. Now people's days are ruined. They have to spend it out here collecting and cleaning and trying to make it safe and sanitary again. Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? There needs to just be a giant pit, like a volcano that people are free to just walk into, you know? A done deal. You know what I'm talking about? Godly. Futurama had a suicide booth, man. Futurama had it all figured out. Look, if you guys are going through some stuff, you already know. I'm available to you guys. You guys just choose not to abuse me. You know what I mean? And when you do abuse me, you do it in the bad way, man. Douchebags. I'm trying to be here for you and you just take advantage of it? Hey, Kyle. Hey, what's going on? You suck. Fucking hate that guy. I showed him. Now I'm going to go dislike all of his videos. What? What's going on with some of these people? Number 3. I did a short stint in a mental hospital. I had an 18-ish-year-old come in and had been found in the fetal position, covered in shit and naked in her bedroom by the police. She basically had been locked in there by her parents for years, most of her life. She kept asking for her mom because she didn't know how to do anything. Her mother was still trying to control her from prison. Oh my God. This reminds me of a story from some time ago. I can't remember her name, but it was basically a girl that got kept isolated and verbally and physically abused by her father starting before the age of 1 because he thought she was retarded and that he has to protect her from the outside world. She was rescued at about 12 years old and I think became one of the prime research subjects for development researchers because she couldn't speak, couldn't walk properly, and couldn't see further than 3 meters, roughly the size of her room. Oh my God. They talking about Jeannie, dude. And if y'all know anything about her, what a sad story it is. Because they were studying her because, you know, she was an anomaly in that, well, let's say that I like to believe that, you know, the government has conducted a crazy amount of studies on people that, you know, have no names. They only have numbers and closed doors and underground bunkers and places that we'll never see, you know. But in our world, okay, in, you know, the world of the shit that we do see, we're not used to a child that is isolated, that's removed from any social interaction, any contact with the outside world, hasn't even been socialized so much as being able to, you know, basically vocalize, you know what I mean? Even a baby animal will make noises. But when they rescued this chick, they were trying to figure out if it's too late to teach her to speak, if it's too late to get her to learn, you know? It's pretty horrifying. Y'all look up some shit on Jeannie on YouTube, and it's a document that's worth your time because it's tragic. I think the scariest thing about this story is that one of the women that was working with her as like a scientist, as like, you know, she was helping like the girl get better and trying to study with her, but she actually really loved her.
Yeah.
After all of these breakthroughs made, after years of them getting closer and this girl obviously becoming, almost like a daughter to this woman, like the mother was the scientist woman was like a mother figure to her. They made it so that she couldn't be close to her anymore. And it's like the cruelest thing in the world. It just shows you how the law in our fucking country is ridiculous. They literally wouldn't let this girl that had made leaps and bounds, perhaps exclusively because of this woman, softly and sweetly being gentle with her and kind of, not only was she invested in the science of trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with her and what could become of her, but she was there with her every step of the way, and they ripped her apart. I like to think it would be like it'd be like going to war, motherfucker, and having a brother out there, somebody that's with you every step of the way, and then oh, the war's over now, you can't see that person ever again, and you're like, what? Why? Oh, what a sad story, man. With all she's been through, they wouldn't allow her to. Man, fuck the law. I mean, I was definitely tilted, enough to want people's heads for some shit like that, Yeah, I don't get too emotional about shit, but maybe I wanted some people dead when they were like, no, you shall never see that girl again. I'm like, what the fuck? She only wanted what's good for her. She's already been through enough. She's been through enough. Woo! As we continue up this list to number 2, homeless guy that hadn't taken his boots off. There's a lot of these and it's getting kind of scary. For a couple of weeks, comes in because of the snow. He came in due to nausea and vomiting, but he looked good. Just a homeless guy, weird. We start getting him changed into a gown for imaging and go to take off his boots, and what do you know? The skin came off like socks. Sick because of trench foot and gangrene. He lost some toes. Sometimes people will keep some toes that were absolutely disgusting to look at. This dude's username is Smegma Pudding. Do I get enough to go through this particular type of list? Number 1. So many to choose from. I'm gonna go with the homeless guy that came to our hospital with an abdominal abscess. He basically had a hole in his abdomen. We were trying to clean his wound and assess the damage, and when we reached inside the wound, we started finding money. He nonchalantly stated that he kept his money tucked in there to protect it from being stolen. That's enough of this. What a list, what a list, what a list. We are so done. To reiterate, Fortnite is finally cross-platform on PlayStation 4, meaning, if you have an Xbox, if you have a Nintendo Switch, if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, if you have a PS4, we can all finally play Fortnite with one another. Maybe it's a game that you hate, but you gotta admit, it is free. And anyone can play with anyone as long as they have one of the devices I just specified. And it's a step forward in gaming, Hopefully soon, maybe all games will feel like they should be doing cross-platform, because if y'all fucking remember, Todd Howard of Fallout was talking about how he wanted that. Also PC, how did I not say that? Of course. If you play Fortnite on the PC, then we can all play together, because I play on PS4, mainly. But yeah, add me, CYAEL, same as the username everywhere else. What's the creepiest, most paranormal thing that's happened to you? I could read this tonight. Creepy list tonight. Totally gay. Sex workers, nope. There's enough of that. What weird quirk does your family have? Sounds pretty gay. I'll put that up there. Students of Reddit, what is your best school life hack? Yeah, I'd be a pretty basic channel if I were reading shit like that. Let's just see what the top one is, because I'm not reading it. The top one is... You can Google by file type using syntax. File type PDF. Ooh. So what if I wanted to Google, like, I don't know. Killer. Wait, is Goodnight Moon only like one page? You're telling me somebody made a great book by writing one page worth of dialogue? Why can't I write children's books then? Yo, I'm gonna do a children's book stream. It's just gonna be me reading shit that I wrote. I should make up a story on the spot as I read. For the little hamster woke up in his nice, not a cage. Cages aren't nice. Where do hamsters live in the wild?
Just say in his habitat.
In his habitat? It's a kid's book. They don't know what habitat.
Teach them.
I gotta teach habitat. A habitat is like a area, dude, where they hang out and chill and shit. The hamster likes to do orange justice. What?
Aaron's, my nephew, who was like 3 or 4 at the time, goes, "Is that her habitat?" Like, yeah, I guess so.
Seeker's Desire says, I'd listen to Kyle children's stories. You guys should find me like 5 children's stories that I can read back to back and try to escape copyright. What y'all gonna do? I read like 6 of them back to back. Or maybe I should just read the top 5 children's books. What is River talking about? Central has 2,000 IQ? Oh boy. You guys, you have a wonderful night or evening, and I'll see you in the afternoon. And again, add me on Fortnite or whatever. We can knock some shit out, because I need those challenges. I haven't done that in forever. Love you. Have a great evening or afternoon. I'm gonna go try to make something of my day. Wish me luck. Bye.